So my partner and I just decided that we're gonna stay in this apartment for another year. Instead of daydreaming about buying a house or living in a nicer city or something, I want to commit to making this apartment the best version that it could possibly be. I want to make sure it's a space that I enjoy working in. I work from home, I do school from home, I'm constantly creating stuff in this exact space, and I thought it was important to just nurse the environment that I'm in. I've been looking at a lot of desk setup inspiration on YouTube for the past year or two. Of course, I was influenced to buy the IKEA Alex drawers because everybody has them and they look so nice in a lot of the spaces. I really wanted to get the black one. They didn't have it in stock at the time, but I was too impatient to wait, so I ended up getting the like slate blue one. And I just ended up not really liking it. I felt like they're like way too deep. It looks kind of clunky. I wanted to bring something into the space that has a little bit more character. So I found this company called Mustard Made. I think they're based in Australia, and they have a ton of like really beautiful lockers. It's a woman-run company. So I ended up getting my hands on this guy right here. Something that I struggle with, despite being a minimalist, is papers. This is pretty much all just like medical ethics journals. Just have like photos and a lot of maps. A few years back, I did a ton of traveling across the States, and something that I did want to collect, despite being minimal and trying to avoid the accumulation of stuff, I did want to collect maps because I felt like it was a really cool way to document some of my travels. Let's see. Perfection. And then this door keeps hitting me in the arm. Wow, I have so much more space in here than I even need. It's mostly empty. All right, so the locker is built. I filled it with papers and it's beautiful. But now I want to talk a little bit more about why I really bought this thing in the first place. I hate storage, and I always have. Storage means friction, piling things into containers, forgetting what's inside, and then sifting through all this junk just to find that one thing that I use like maybe twice a year. Drawers and boxes and closets become a magnet for clutter, even if you're super intentional about the things that you welcome into your space. The Alex drawers were way too easy to throw junk into and forget about. And I wasn't as in love with the piece as I thought I'd be, so it fell short both functionally and aesthetically for me. When I finally decided to take everything out of the Alex drawers to move it out of my workspace, I managed to get rid of like the majority of the items that were inside of it. When something's out and visible in our surroundings, we're way more likely to actually use it, take care of it, and appreciate it. Or conversely, recognize that we aren't getting value from the thing, and then it's just easier to let go of. Almost everything in my apartment is sort of on display, and that works really well for me. I see what I have, I use what I have. This also helps me save money because I'm constantly reminded that I already have enough, and if I buy a bunch of new things, I have to find more space for it. I like to follow a sort of one in, one out approach so that I'm never accumulating more than I truly feel necessary for my lifestyle. It also just makes my day-to-day life super simple because I don't really lose things and it doesn't take me much time to get ready for the day. Despite my hatred of storage, I also recognize that realistically, there's always going to be things that you can't really get rid of. Cables or utility items, work stuff that maybe doesn't look so nice if it's left out in the open, things of that nature. I had to really think about what I was going to bring into the space as a replacement for the Alex drawers. Because I value aesthetics and design so much, I also know that if I truly love the thing that my stuff's inside of, I'll probably be more likely to stay organized. So that brings me back to this locker. When you open it, you can actually see what's inside of it, rather than a clunky drawer you can sort of forget about that's overshadowed by more interesting pieces of furniture in your space. I plan on keeping only a few very specific items inside of it for now. Stuff that I don't feel inclined to part with, but the very few things that I own and don't use enough to leave out on display. The balance I'm trying to strike in my space is minimal, but not sterile. I see so many minimalist spaces that lack originality and just feel way too cold for my taste. I don't want things in my environment just to have them, but I want them to work for me and be unique. This locker is both aesthetic and functional, and I love it. I'm not sponsored by Mustard Made. I just fell in love with this design. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check out their stuff. Bye. 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 Bye.